All right, everybody, we have two epic machines here today. We've got off-roader from Harley Davidson. This here's their motocross offering. Yes, you heard that right. This is Harley Davidson's motocross bike. And in the back, you've got their little run-around town Enduro. Both of these machines were built during the turbulent AMF years. They weren't built in America. They were built over in Italy by the Aeromacchi company. This machine would later evolve into the Coveted MXR, which would really take this bike in the direction that it should have gone already. This machine was about 6 months to a year delayed in production, and it really hurt it. Because of that, things like the front forks were already Suzuki leftovers. Those are the same offerings Suzuki would have on their RM in 76 and 77. A lot of components were very high quality, like this French hub, green sticker shoulderless Acront wheels. Much of it's the same in the rear. You have the KYB suspension using the same style as the RM, those remote reservoir nitrogen charged rear shocks. A French hub, green sticker Acront. And you can tell the gauge on the spokes is pretty big on these. These were a rather strong wheel set. Harley built about 900 to 1,000 of these machines. I've actually seen a lot of these bikes in person, maybe 40 or 50 different units in person. A lot of these machines end up at ARMA races. They actually do pretty good. If you go to any ARMA Northeast race on any given weekend, you'll probably see 2 or 3 of them out there. Once I get this one out there, you'll start seeing more even. Now, this is a matching numbers machine in the 800s. Currently, though, it's just a mocked up engine. It's just an Enduro motor in place with the motocross cylinder on it. This is a new old stock cylinder from Coveted. They would go to use nickel sill instead of the stock chrome bore, or at least it's nickel sill equivalent. I don't know what their compound truly was for coating it. But it was a little better than the Harley Davidson chrome bore. I had one of those cylinders, but somebody else needed it for another mx250, so I let it go. Got to spread the love here a little bit, everybody. Tough to keep these old machines going. Now here you'll see another look at that Enduro engine on it with the polished aluminum casings. The deal is that I actually had a broken primary gear in the motocross engine, which I do still have. Like I said, the matching numbers one. And it was cheaper to actually get a whole Enduro motor, and I want to use the helical gear out of it anyway, just to give it a little better longevity. So that worked for me. Here's another look at that pretty French hub. Now you'll notice that this bike doesn't have a floating rear brake, and it does have a cable operated rear brake. Both of these things hurt it. If this was 1977 and it came out, it might have been able to get away with that a little bit more. But by 1978, this bike was already getting left in the dust. Kawasaki would have their new A4 models. Honda would have their new Red Rocket. Mako's new Magnum. The KTM was getting better. The new generation of it was pretty good. The Husky was only getting better. Meanwhile, if this machine had come out in 1977 like it was supposed to, it would have been dealing with the old style Elsinore, Mako AW, and ancient Kawasaki. Would have been able to do pretty good. Really, the only offerings that I might have chose over this in 77 would have been the Husky and the RM. Would have taken this over the carbon cantilever shock YZ any year. I know some people really like those. I do not like the way those handle. These side number plates here are very fragile on these machines if you ever get one. Also, you can see back there just a little bit where it's got one of those quick release screws. On the airbox lid, there's 3 quick release plastic screws. They're not really threaded. They pop out. They do about a half turn. Don't be a Neanderthal like me and break them. Another look at that pretty hub. Now the fenders on this particular machine are rather crusty, but I think I'll be able to save them still myself. It's got that original logo on it. Now, when I actually take this bike out racing, I probably will put a set of DC plastics on it just to try to save these original items once I get them back to pretty nice shape. The tank is a lovely, lovely Italian unit. Really very similar to the Beta I've got, using a leather strap to hold it down. Small gas cap. It's got the vent tube on the other side coming up. Bike still has its original Tomaselli lever and throttle. Even though they're not in the greatest of condition anymore, I'll be able to use them. It'll be okay. It's got a Del Orto carb. All of these things are what a good Italian boutique machine should have. These machines would evolve into the Cagiva MXR, featuring aluminum rear swing arm, Marzocchi front forks, and they would do rather good. But it was really Harley Davidson and their works program that developed a lot of these things. They were already doing water coolers, they were already doing 125s and open classers, and all these things worked out excellent for Cagiva the next year. In fact, the Harley Works bike was also using the Marzocchi forks and everything, so they paved the way. Cagiva would end up having a very successful motocross program in the 80s because of this. A lot of true Harley guys actually hate on these bikes, but they're slowly coming around. It's because these bikes are built in Italy and not America, and I can see the stigma behind that, but I'm just glad that the funding was sent over to Aeromacchi to actually build these, because I truly love them. These are some of the finest Harleys in my mind. While the motocross bike is very competitive, this bike here is really just built as a fun little run around town bike, similar to a Yamaha DT really. You've got that pretty sticker on the heat shield there. This is actually a new old stock pipe. It's never been run before. I like getting all the old Harley parts because they come in really cool packaging. You got pressed steel foot pegs that leave a lot to be desired. Those definitely don't inspire any confidence. Pressed steel shifter that's a little odd. Bader forks are probably the nicest feature on this machine. I do really like those. That still gives it a chance to be pretty darn competitive in my mind, at least against other Enduro offerings like KE100 and Yamaha DT100. But the pressed steel levers and the strange switches and buttons really take a couple points off of it. Same thing with the odd gauge cluster with the key up there. But if nothing else, it's a very pretty machine. Original seat and gas tank. Streamlined rear taillight unit. And I just like that cool little sticker on the back here. Well guys, if you'd like to see me really get this machine up and going here and see how it does in the dirt, I'll do some pretty comprehensive videos about it, hitting jumps with it, running it through mud holes, taking it up hill climbs and everything around here. But to do that, I got to get her finished. So if you want to see it, please subscribe. Thanks, everybody.